He's got a hammer in one hand and a screwdriver in another. He's about to ask me to choose one. He shrugs when he sees you looking at him. You glance through the stained glass window and do a double take. What the? You open the door. Hey. He catches your face with one massive hand, his other pulling you in by the small of your back, and his mouth collides with yours. Wow. Hello my loves, I'm Degenerate and welcome back to Titan Arum. We're going to continue exactly where we left off from last time. I fixed my load, so now I have the one from the beginning in case I have to change some options. So I still don't know who I got in terms of route. It's looking like it's Aster, even though I wanted Oscar. But it's fine, we're gonna figure it out right now. Let's just continue. He's making us breakfast. Let's do this. You arrive upstairs to see Aster setting plates down on the counter. You take a seat at the counter, and he places a steaming cup of coffee, already pale with creamer, in front of you, before taking a seat beside you. He knows me, apparently. The plate before you is laden with scrambled eggs, a few slices of bacon, some toast, and strawberries carefully sliced into quarters. It's a beautiful meal, and it smells delicious, but you just aren't hungry. Not wanting to reject his kindness for the gesture itself, you pick up the food anyway. I find it very weird that we're not hungry. That's all. This is the second time that we've expressed ourselves not being hungry. And what's also funny, considering this whole hungry situation, the cat also hasn't been eating, as we've noticed. So, a little worried, very annoyed. Because this meal looks to be delicious and we don't want to eat it. Making yourself take at least a few bites of everything. Great. How's your writing coming? He says. You shrug. Not much has happened with it yet. If I'm honest, I don't have much of a plot. Just ideas, I guess. Still very much brainstorming, researching, stuff like that. Haven't even started to outline yet. Then what's that, if you don't mind me asking? He points to a small pile of papers neatly assembled at the edge of the counter. Even from here, you can recognize your own frantic scrawl, inking across this page. Almost messed that up. You frown, reaching for the pages, and Aster slides them the rest of the way to you. Novel, corpse flowers, about a family. Home bought cheap due to all the murders there, ? Family moves in, bizarre events, madness, murder them all? You chew your lip, frowning. You don't recall writing these, much less bringing them upstairs. It's undeniably your handwriting, but you're retracing your steps in your head when Aster's voice interrupts your thoughts. I like the idea quite a bit. It feels very Fall of the House of Usher. I don't know books. I'm not a book person. You're about to admonish him for reading over your notes. But before you can, your mind leaps to an idea incorporating some kind of eldritch horror. The story you've been trying to develop. It certainly pulls together several of the horror elements you've been reading over. No! I was wondering when the sound was going to come back. There's a deep, resonant chuckle. Uh-oh. Interesting. Hello? Who's talking? Ooh. You look up to Aster, then around you quickly, but you only find them studying a strawberry closely before popping it in their mouth. Odd. Could have swore you heard. You swipe a pen from nearby and start writing your ideas beneath the rough pseudo-outline. You're so deeply focused on it, you forget your food, and nearly forget Aster entirely. You apologize a few times, promising it's just another moment or two while you get this idea down. But he only smiles and urges you on with a twist of his wrist. You could sense his eyes gliding across your page, although you're sure he can't make out the actual words from where he sits. The ideas just keep flowing. Before you know it, Aster has finished his food, is clearing the plates, and cleaning down the kitchen. And you've barely touched more than the coffee. You smile sheepishly, when he takes your plate, but he seems entirely unbothered. In fact, he seems rather amused by your frantic jotting. When he's entirely finished cleaning up, even clearing away your emptied coffee mug, you finally put your pen down. Seems you were quite inspired. Yeah, by some ghost that, like, thought what I was writing before was so interesting. You grin sheepishly and nod. I was sorry about that. Not at all. I've always found it fascinating to watch a creature like yourself at work. Thank you for allowing me to observe. A creature. Oh no, it says creative. Oh my gosh. I thought I said creature. It's the same. Your face flushes and you look away from the force of his smile. I should go. Allow you to enjoy your day. But before I forget, he places the key on the counter. Ah yes, thank you. I'll walk you to the door. You walk them to the door, but Aster pauses in the foyer looking around. Jim, I didn't see my feline friend. Odd, too. we need to investigate that. He's always come to greet me until now. He has? You wonder if you should be worried. Now that you think of it, you haven't seen him since last night. Barty! Bartholomew! Come here. You're about to call him again when Aster holds up a hand to stop you, his head tilted as if listening. Do you hear that? No. You stop to listen. Are you serious? After a brief moment, you do hear it. Baleful meowing coming from downstairs. Your eyebrows shoot up and you look at Aster in surprise. Is that coming from the studio? He hasn't gone in there once since I've been here. Uh-oh. You look around the little apartment, frowning. There aren't many places to hide. You hear it again. Meow. In pain. Meow in pain. I believe. You and Aster follow the sound towards your bed and look underneath it. It's empty, save for a few books and papers that have escaped the piles. Meow in pain once more. You gasp. Oh no. I think he's in the wall. He's in our walls. You can't help the shrill note that enters your voice as panic shoots through you. How the hell? You hear Barty's cry escalate to a loud yowling. Yowling? I don't know. There's no doubt he's somehow inside the wall behind your bed. It's impossible. How did he do that? How is he in there? It's entirely closed off. I don't think that's our biggest concern right now. I think we should focus on getting him out. But how are we supposed to do that? Aster hesitates visibly, then nods, as if coming to a decision in himself. If you're okay with it, I can open the wall. Great. Anything, honestly. You nod vigorously, not needing time to consider. I'll go see what tools I can find. You do that. You get to work pulling the bed from the wall. It's heavy, but adrenaline makes you stronger than you would be. Soon enough, you have the bed moved well into the center of the room by the time Aster returns. He's got a hammer in one hand and a screwdriver in another. He's about to ask me to choose one. He shrugs when he sees you looking at him. The best I could find on short notice, but I think it'll suit just fine. Of course, of course. Work your magic. You're muttering and pacing, alternating between panicked guilt and cursing the cat under your breath. Now, I do need you to stay somewhat calm. I got you. It'll be much easier to damage your lovely new apartment if I'm not distracted by the absolute storm of energy you're giving off. Okay. Take a deep breath. It's entirely ineffective. Right. I'm calm. I'm fine. Yes, indeed. You seem so. Aster now turns his attention to the wall, tapping against the drywall with his knuckle. He opts for a spot several feet above where you can hear Barty meowing, and pawing the inside of the wall. He wastes no time using the hammer and screwdriver to create a hole nearly 2 feet wide and a few inches tall. You flinch with each land of the hammer, the sound rattling around in your skull. Can you go faster? It wouldn't. It wouldn't do to get reckless and risk scaring him enough that he tries to escape further into the wall, no? You don't have an argument for that. Yeah. But it doesn't make you any less antsy. You're as much of a mess as the poor cat. Why don't you come here and talk to him? See if you can't keep both of you calm. You want me to talk to the cat and say what? That, exactly. Tone and everything. I leave that up to you. I doubt he has strong preferences in the matter. Uh-huh. It's more the cadence of your voice that I'm thinking will help. He doesn't even like me anymore. I'm sure that isn't the case. Besides, you don't have to be his favorite to be more favorable. That silence and the sounds of a hammer. Okay, you got it. Not having much of a response to that, you move to the wall, crouching down and putting your face close to the wall so that Barty can hear you better. You pick the first subject that comes to mind. Bartholomew, do you remember the first time we met? Question mark. Camellia had just brought you home, and you were so small that you fit in her sweatshirt pocket. Oh my gosh, that was Venice when I first got him. He actually was in my sweater. It was so adorable. He's a tiny guy. I'd never seen such a pathetic little thing. You were so sweet. We fought over who got to name you, in part because I thought Bartholomew was a stupid name. That's an amazing name. What are you talking about? Talking helps. You start to calm down, your mind digging through the thick fog of time to pull up scraps of a memory you barely remembered you had. You're surprised, Barty also seems to calm down at the sound of your voice. The meows are becoming less frantic, and the pawing sounds have ceased. Okay, I'm just about finished. Step back from me, would you? You got it. You give him the space he asks for, but you're not sure how that's almost done. There's a hole about the length and width of your forearm in the wall. But how would Barty get through? Aster grips the wall with both hands and yanks it down with an alarming speed and force, demolishing most of the wall in one fell swoop. You gape at him, taken aback. That was not what you expected. Aster simply dusts his hands off and looks at the wall. He looks proud of himself. When he sees your face, he chuckles softly and shrugs. Didn't want to risk getting too close to him with the hammer and accidentally clipping him, so I improvised. As if on cue, Bartholomew shoots from the now gaping hole in the wall. We need to find out how he got in there. Ugh! Looks filthy, covered in some kind of slime or muck. Ugh! What was that? He looks what? Oh god, I'm not gonna do that. It looks like blood? Barty moves so quickly that you can't quite tell what's covering his fur. Before you can get a chance to grab him, he sprinted from the room entirely. You stare after him, dazed. There, problem solved. Okay. Aster is dusting the white powder of demolished drywall off his hands, surveying the scene with detached neutrality. Yeah. When his gaze swings to you, it softens. Feel better now? You nod dumbly, sinking down into the bed and staring at the wall, the hole in your wall. You can see the inside studs of the wall and the old wooden slates of the original build of the house, but not much else. Are you certain? I can stay if you need. What's that? That seems oddly darker. Let him leave? Look at his eye poking through the thing. It's just hilarious. Ask him to stay the night. Locked? This is it! I was wondering when we're gonna, like, you know, figure out how to... Locked. How to get the character. Anyway, let me save it then. Right here. This is how you would get Aster. Simple. I'm gonna be completely honest. I don't really want Aster. So. Let him leave. You'll ask Theo to come stay the night. What's this one? Let him leave. You'll ask Oscar if you need help. We're gonna pick this one. He's right in town after all. Yeah, in that dingy hotel. Let's save him. Aster nods, smiling. Alright. Wait! If it's not too much to ask, can you get the cat for me? He definitely needs a bath, but... Woo! God, that scares me a little bit. You trail off and Esther barks out a laugh that sounds like snapping twigs. Certainly, wait here. The fuck? You do as he says. He's so weird. Like, what the hell? You can hear his footsteps upstairs as well as the resonance of his voice, although you can't make out quite what he says to convince the cat to come back out. Soon he returns, Bartholomew cradled against his shoulder. Here you are. Thank you so much. You accept the cat, although you can immediately feel him tense. He sinks his claws into your shoulder, stopping just short of breaking the skin. Thank you, Bartholomew. Now that our little crisis has been diverted, I'll take my leave. His smile is sharp-edged, but not unkind. How on earth will you manage without me? Oscar. You chuckle, your voice more nervous than you'd like. I don't know, honestly, but I guess we'll find out. We will, when Oscar comes. I'm so excited. Indeed, I'll lock the door on my way out. Good luck with him. You nod and smile. Thanks. Esther's gaze returns to you. Something in his expression makes you think you misunderstood him, but he heads back up the stairs before you can finish your thought. Take care not to drown. Drown? You sigh, looking down at the increasingly ornery cat. It's just you and me now, Barty. Take it easy on me, would ya? Barty does not, in fact, take it easy on you. The muck was far less than you'd anticipated. It looked far worse at a distance, and was cleaned well enough with a wet washcloth. Bartholomew, however, did not appreciate this at all. Cleaning him up felt like a full-on wrestling match, during which he managed to land a bite on your cheek. How did he get that far up? You decided he's clean enough. You're absolutely exhausted. Leaving the wreckage of your bathroom to be the problem of a future, more energized version of yourself, you change out of your drenched clothes. How you ended up so damp without even giving him a proper bath is a mystery. They don't stop moving. So annoying. You're about to throw yourself into the bed when you see the absolute mess of your wall. The groan that escapes you is guttural and entirely involuntary. You do not have the energy for this right now. You're standing before the mess, your body unable to comply with any commands to move or clean. When your phone buzzes loudly, it's a text. Oscar. Call me. Columbus Project and Jackass. Okay. You snort in amusement before typing back. Can't right now. Dealing with emergency. Wall broken. His response is near immediate. He loves me. What the fuck? The typing symbol appears for a bit, then disappears. You wait a minute. When no response comes, you toss your phone on the bed and turn your attention back to the task at hand. You grab a broom and a dustpan and get to work. Not even 15 minutes later, you're covered in a thin layer of plaster dust. Most of the debris is clear, though some of it is clinging to the damp parts of your skin. And you can feel it taking your eyelashes and forming a paste on your neck. My gosh! You're about to start figuring out what the hell you're supposed to do about a gaping hole in your wall when two loud knocks against the front door interrupt your thoughts. You frown, looking down at yourself, and then in the direction of the stairs. You can't even begin to guess who would be showing up right now. I can. The knock comes again. This time, louder. You head upstairs, dusting your hands off on your jeans in an entirely futile gesture. You glance through the stained glass window and do a double take. What the? You open the door. Hey. Oscar stands before you, a foul expression on his face, holding a large red metal box. You stare at him, bewildered. Is that a toolbox? Do you seriously need an answer to that? You don't, but you also have no idea what's happening right now, so... I'm here to fix the goddamn wall. You gonna let me in? Yeah. Yes. At an utter loss for words, you step aside to let him be. Let him by. You head downstairs with Oscar close behind, your mind feeling like you're walking into your own personal episode of The Twilight Zone. Once in the apartment, it takes Oscar no time at all to identify the issue. What the fuck happened to your wall? You look like a creature ripped into it, Jesus. You try to laugh dryly, but your voice sounds a little hysterical, even to you. Yeah, well, my life is falling apart. Just one disaster after the next. The wall, well, you can see the wall. It's actually looking better now, believe it or not. There was plaster and shit everywhere. And I haven't been sleeping well, at all. Like, crazy nightmares and insomnia. And then when I do sleep, it's like, why bother? I don't feel better when I wake up anyway. And honestly, I thought not having a next project could... Damn. It would feel great, but the pressure is so much worse now than it ever was on a job. And then I had this whole emergency with the cat, and I had to bathe him. It's all very bad. I'm not sure I'm seeing how that last one is a disaster, but anyways. Oscar walks over to the wall, tilting his head one way and then the other before putting his toolbox down. His toolbox. Why don't you fix my pipes next? Yeah. You stand beside him, not sure what else to do with yourself. Just... not sure what to do? I got a couple things. Just relieved that you don't actually have to deal with this wall situation anymore. I can't fix this. Your response is reflexive. Seriously? Embarrassing for you. It's fucking annihilated. It's not like I have spare sheetrock in my rental car. Then what'd you bring that toolkit over for? Or is it like a comfort thing? Or like a merce what? What would even be the complete word? Toolbox. And there's a difference between broken and a 3-foot wide hole. You're a writer. How are you so shit at words? How are you so shit at fixing stuff? I'm not a goddamn contractor. I'm an editor. I do not do manual labor. Why did you bring it? Just... shh. You narrow your eyes at him before gesturing to his obnoxiously perfect... Whoa! Enormous! What are we talking about? What was that before? I have questions. Obnoxiously perfect. Go back. Perfect. Oh, it's literally just the same thing, but like weird. What? Okay. Enormous. Ridiculous. Obnoxiously ridiculous biceps? They're decorative. Huh? Huh? You snort at him, but a smile curves your lips. Bickering with Oscar is oddly soothing. Normal. Okay. Go away. I don't need you hawking over me with your unhelpful bullshit narrations. Okay. You sulk, wrinkling your nose at him. But I just want to help. Oscar turns to look at you up and down. Really? Then traces his index finger across your collarbone. Really? He leaves a trail of heat across your skin. Huh. And you flush immediately. Interesting. You have no idea what your face is saying, because you have no control over it at the moment. He holds up his finger to you, arching an eyebrow. Okay. You're literally filthy. Go clean up. I'll be done by the time you're out. Okay. Your brain is too busy short-circuiting at his touch to retort, so you retreat to the bathroom. Nice. You manage to wipe off most of the dust and change to some clean sheets. No, sweats. I'm thinking of something else. I'm going too fast. Slow down. And a t-shirt. Ooh, a t-shirt. Once you're done, you go back to rejoin Oscar. Your eyes immediately go to where the hole was. It's been covered, but it appears Oscar took the top sheet off of your bed and stapled it over the hole. Then shoved your bed back up against it. He fixed it, guys. God. You look for Oscar to tease him, but because, well, it's quite obvious why. Something you're quite eager to point out. But he's no longer in the studio. Why? You head out to the hall. Thinking of something else. You find Oscar by the stairs leading up to the foyer, looking at the hanging pictures on the wall. What the hell did you do to my sheet? I fixed the wall. I would hardly call that fixed. It's a stapled. It's stapled very well, I assure you. Okay. You scoff loudly and roll your eyes. Oscar motions towards the wall of photos. Dozens of school photos of you and your sister over the years are scattered amongst some birthdays, holidays, the occasional parents' anniversary. Your family is nauseatingly picturesque. Right. How contrast to my own life. You frown at him, but he continues. Tell me, how are you meant to write anything interesting when your life has been all fluff and cavity-induced sweetness? You glare at him, and are about to snap to retort, but he moves on as if what he said wasn't offensive. You need to look a lot alike, you twins. You pause, so angry, but answer him. You can't help yourself when it comes to Camellia. No, I'm older. We get that a lot, though. That's insane, because that's probably the only true thing about this whole thing. Like, this whole... our whole character's backstory. Because people would call me and my sister twins all the time, too. Even though I'm the oldest. Super cool. You stare at a picture of Camellia covered in colored powders and grinning after completing in one of those color runs. Only 10 months apart, but it feels more like years most of the time. People love her. I may be the artist, but she's the rebellious, free-spirited one. Not me. Well, yeah, that's obvious. You're wildly uptight. Really? I'm not gonna say another one. This shit writes itself, so... I am not uptight. Wildly cutthroat, then. You freeze looking at him. He arches an eyebrow. What's going on here? Honestly, part of me thinks Jack gave me your check on purpose. He's a dick. He's also a coward. Never could stand anyone being mad at him. You're unsure of what to say. You can hear your own heartbeat in your ears. And your face gets hot. Wait, how? What's happening? I thought it was greed at first, but I don't think that's quite it. Hello? Scribbles. Your hand waves back and forth in front of your eyes, and you're brought back. Damn, spacing out mid-conversation now. That's a lot, even for you. You scoff and wave it off, not trusting your voice to be steady just yet. Oscar narrows his eyes at you before turning and walking back into the studio. You follow him, immediately confused. He heads to the linen closet, pulls out a blanket, and then tosses himself down on the couch. So disappointed in you. He's got 2 belts. He's making this real difficult. What are you doing? Do you have any idea what time it is? I'm tired. I'm not driving back to the motel after you drag me. Oh! Let me continue. Drag me out here at fuck all in the morning. God. He rolls over. I did not drag him here. He came on over here on his free will. So. He rolls over so his back is to you. Bartholomew makes his first volunteer studio appearance. Oh! Voluntary studio appearance. Interesting. And hops up on top of Oscar, spinning around on his hip until he curls up to sleep. Lucky bitch. He's just staying? Yeah. It's unsettling how at home he acts here. It's creepy. You mentioned there's a guest room upstairs he can stay in if he prefers. It's kind of a relief to have him here. Being alone in such a big house is eerie. Even if you're pretty sure he'd use you as a human shield in a heartbeat, fighting him is distracting you from whatever this feeling is. Oh, okay. You're too tired to fight. You turn off the light and go lay down. Helping sleep will take you quickly. Takes Oscar quickly, but seems to leave you behind. Dang. He snores. Loudly. Why? You were so perfect until that. You roll over and find yourself face to sheet with Oscar's repair job. My god. To his credit, it really is well shaped. Well stapled. Whoopsies. You probably also used every staple you had to do it. As you lay there, you start to notice sounds between the snores. They're softer, breathier, and they're coming from behind the sheet. What? The one that's stapled to the wall? You stare at it intensely, trying to convince yourself you're not hearing what you think you're hearing. They grow in sound and intensity, crescendoing into a deep wailing. You look over at Oscar and Barney, but they're both sound asleep. What the hell is happening in this house? She starts to move slightly, as if it's fluttering, a sail in the wind. Woo! Suddenly the shape of a face lunges through the sheet, barely restrained by the stapled cloth. The mouth is open and gaping at you, the undeniable source of the wails. It's just creepy as hell. The sheet presses tightly into the open jaw, as if it was inhaling, sucking the cloth into its mouth as it presses. My god. You can't even scream. The strangled sound you make is nothing close to what would be needed to wake anyone, and you can't move. Sleep paralysis is crazy. As quickly as it happens, it's over. The face doesn't withdraw, it simply disappears. The sheet appears untouched and unmussied? Right. As if nothing was there in the first place. Maybe it was never there. You let out a shuddering breath. You want to run, but you can't take your eyes off the sheet. You don't dare. You scoot back off the bed to your chair, alert for any signs of movement behind the white cloth. You don't sleep. Of course. You look like shit. Did you sleep in that chair? You don't know when he woke, or when the sun rose. You haven't been able to pull your gaze from that hole. The hole. You look like a goddamn gargoyle right now. You don't respond. You can't. Distantly you wonder if the gasping, wailing creature stole your voice for its cries. You're vaguely aware that he leaves the room, the creaking of the stairs signaling his departure. You can witness the thought pass you as if it belongs to someone else, a theoretical version of yourself, calling him rude for leaving you without a word. But right now, Oscar places a mug of coffee in your hands. That shit better not be black. Just regular ass coffee. It needs to have something in it. Oscar places a mug of coffee in your hands. His touch is surprisingly gentle. His large hands dwarfing yours as he wraps your fingers around the mug. Drink. Delicious. You're tempted, so tempted, to look away. It's easier to believe you'd be safe when he speaks to you like that. What's going on? I don't know. Those holes need to be filled. And I'm not talking about the one on the wall. That tone again. You drag your eyes from the hole. It hurts. Respond to Oscar. Okie dokie, I got you. Ask him if he believes in the supernatural, otherworldly hauntings, unexplainable things. Tell him you can't explain it. Things started getting weird after he got here. You can't trust him. Things were weird before. Don't get it twisted. Ugh. He watches you, eyes narrowed. You can see him weighing whether to take you seriously or not. Just when you're sure the scales have swayed out of your favor, he answers. I found a little reason in my life to convince me one way or the other for certain. Why? You hesitate, then press your lips together tightly. No, it's too bizarre. You can't. JoJo's Bizarre Adventure? Listen, I've been traveling for a long time and I've been to a lot of places. I've heard a lot of stories and seen some things. I don't think anything is ever truly off the table. Now I've been honest with you, be honest with me. Why are you asking me these things? It's a long story. It all started when I was born. You feel Oscar on all your odd experiences since arriving at the house. I think there may be something wrong with this house. Or with the house. You expect the long pause. You're prepared for it. You're not prepared for his next question. Okay, so what's your plan then? You blink at him. Thoroughly thrown. You believe me? Well, I don't not believe you. But we may as well try to figure out if something's going on. We have all these books at your disposal. Let's use them. Oscar divvies up the piles of books between the two of you. Your pile is mostly comprised of your old journals, notes, and other assorted sources from the past few weeks. His are mostly the books you've been using for research, including your current unfinished read. You start reading, struggling to be absorbed in the material, and instead sneak some glances at Oscar. Bartholomew has curled up in his lap and is sleepily purring away while Oscar reads. It's a strange sight at first, but the more you look at it, the more it makes sense to you. It doesn't take you long to realize that Oscar reads very quickly. Before you finish looking through your journal, he's already finished one of the small plays and is partly through your current read. Scribbles, this is the most boring fucking book I've ever read. The 400-page explanation on local land tax laws I read yesterday is more exciting than this. Why are you reading this? He flips through the pages, seeming to skim the contents as he goes and looking deeply unimpressed. Okay. I can't really justify it. That's been my experience so far too. I just try not to abandon books part way, but it's very boring. Oscar tosses the book unceremoniously into the community pile of books between you. A piece of paper falls out from between the pages of the book, folded into a small square. It's a lot of sound for a piece of paper. You both stare at the paper for a moment, shocked. Oscar recovers first and picks up the paper, unfolding the many creases with impatient hands. It's your handwriting, and the pages look like they belong to your journal, but you have no memory associated with these entries at all. The page details strange noises coming from behind the wall of your room, and struggling to sleep. Perhaps most confusing, however, is the date on the page. This entry is from 2 weeks ago. I dislike this room. I feel bad because Dad was so excited to show it to me, but something about it makes me feel like I'm in an aquarium or something. On display. Ooh. I dislike the room. I feel bad because but I can't bring myself to like it. It's not my room. It's a guest room. Okay. You turn to another page and find an entry from more than a week ago. It's a bit more recent, but still disorienting to say the least. I know this sounds crazy, I do, but I think there's someone trapped in the walls or something. It seems too wild to possibly be true, but what else would I be hearing the sounds of scratching when I lay down at night coming from inside the wall? As if I need another reason to dislike this house. There's definitely mice in the walls. I can hear them scurrying around. That's probably why the cat was in there. Trying to go get them for you. Oscar leans over the coffee table and grabs one of the small piles of paper he's assembled of varying sizes and widths and passes it to me. You think that this has anything to do with this? You stare at the pile, but not a single spark of recognition lights. Where did you get these? Entirely emphasized by your question, he shrugs. Your bed. They were all a messy pile under the pillow. Some under the bed. Have you seen them before? You stare at them, frowning. The unnerving feeling of not being able to place the papers more bothersome than you would have anticipated. Did you read them? I didn't go through them, but I couldn't help reading this one. It was just right on top, so... He trails off, gesturing the pages towards you and offering. You accept them and begin to leaf through them, trying to remember anything about them. There's writing on the top page, but it's not yours, it's Camelia's. The message is very simple. Don't trust D. Me. Don't trust myself? What the fuck is happening? The rest of the page is covered with handwriting that is yours, but that you can't place in time or space. You can't even read the writing. It's scrawling nonsense. Words on top of words on top of words. The only words legible on the page are on the very bottom of the page. One sentence is printed clearly and consistently in your handwriting. They know I know. But I don't know. So tell me. You're watching, paying attention when it happens. You're looking at the page when it goes entirely blank. The only thing remaining on the page is a small doodle of your front door and the stained glass windows behind it. Beside it. Your gaze immediately goes to Oscar to point it out, but his expression is unchanged, his eyes roaming the blank sheet, as if there's still something on it for him. What am I supposed to do? Oh. Ask him if he saw the pages change. Ask him what the page says. Say nothing. He's obviously faking it. Maybe he's not actually him either. I said not to trust myself, so don't ever fix your lips to say some shit like that. Ever. Ask him what the page says. These two are the best. I think we should inquire. It's nothing particularly important. Looks like some notes on the script. An unnecessarily detailed description of that passenger who ate egg salad and took off his shoes and socks on the flight. Disgusting. You gape, horrified. You don't remember that, and you're sure you should. You've always been a stickler for plain decorum. A paragraph on the Uber driver who dropped you off and didn't help you take your stuff out the car. What a dick. Then here's a grocery list restocking all the stuff you needed for the house. You brush your teeth with cinnamon toothpaste. Are you a serial killer? Shut up and take off your pants. You want to quit back. Sorry, let's be serious. We have to be serious. This is serious. You want to quit back, but you can't bring yourself to. Something is very wrong. Are you seeing something different? Yes. His tone strongly implies he already knows the answer. Yes? I'm not sure. In fact, you're not really sure what he asked you anymore, but you can't bring yourself to ask. Then you see the grocery list. Oh, it's my grocery list. With my errands for when I came to the house. Probably not important. So you could toss it. Oscar watches you for a long moment, his face very serious before nodding. Sure, I'll toss it. Thanks, Oscar. He places the note on the table for the time being, however. The minutes pass too slowly, and the hours pass too quickly. You know it's been at least 3 hours, but beyond that is anyone's guess, and you're still not comfortable trying to sleep. Something deep inside you is whispering, very convincingly, that if... what? Yeah. If you fall asleep, the thing behind the wall will find you. You need a break. Ooh. His interruption is so sudden that you don't know how to respond at first, simply blinking up at him. You narrow your eyes at him, disliking the idea. I know that look, that half-crazed, half-asleep expression. You look just like you do when you fall into a writing hole. I don't want to lose the momentum. Now. You and I both know that the writing hole is not where you do your best work. Where do I do my best work? You need a break. You're going crazy locked up in this house. There's a low chuckle. Quite. Okay. Thank you. Oscar, I'm serious. I don't want to stop right now. Maybe. Just maybe. Should listen to him. Just my suggestion, that's all. Well, I'm more serious, and what's more, I'm hungry. So you must be too. I don't even know when the last time you ate. Sort of this morning, but not really. Oh no, yesterday. Over your dead body, will you admit that you don't know either? Smart money's on you not eating anything all day. Let's go get something to eat outside. Fresh air would be good for you. A nice change from being trapped in this creepy-ass basement all day and night. He's absolutely relentless, so you cave. You decide to go out and pick up some food. There's a decent Thai place in the next town over. We could eat it there as well. It's also an option. You let him take the lead. The hall feels strangely long as you head upstairs. When you get upstairs, you find yourself hesitating. Oscar doesn't notice and heads straight through the door, swinging it open. When you don't follow, he turns back to look at you. You good? Woo! What is happening here? Can't answer. You're looking past him to where the door has transformed into a giant gaping portal. A throat looking to swallow you both whole. Black dark ichor drips from the door frame, like saliva pools on the floor. Ooh. Distantly you hear screaming, loud and rasping and straining. It's only when you take a deep breath that you realize the screaming is coming from you. Oscar's across the room and to you in minutes. He grabs you by the shoulders and you dimly register the terror in his eyes. Face, sorry. You've never seen him look so afraid. Alright, music, we get it. His grip on your shoulders is firm, and he tries to say something, but you can't hear him over your own voice. The tearing screams in your ears. Oh my gosh, what is happening? He starts to pull you towards the door, and you begin to thrash with all your strength, trying to get away. You'll die. Oh my gosh, you'll die. What's worse than death? Many, many things are worse than death, and all of them await you within this darkness. You begin to rip at your own flesh, grabbing your head, scratching at your own eyes, clawing at your throat. Oscar grabs you at your arms and tries to stop you, and instead your fingers find purchase in his forearms. Your nails sink into the flesh on his arms and rip. What? I hope I'm not doing anything wrong. I'm scared. The sensation is somehow satisfying, as what? As is the welling of blood from his skin. But still, he doesn't release you. Oscar pushes you back further into the house, pressing you to his chest tightly, squeezing your whole body with a warm, consistent pressure. The screaming in your mind is the first to stop, allowing you to finally truly hear yourself and control your own voice. Your throat feels shredded, and your screams finally cease. Your mouth is painfully dry, and each breath feels more like hot smoke than oxygen. Finally, you come to your senses and truly calm down. Oscar releases you slowly, holding your arms for cupping your face gingerly in both hands. His face is still pulled taut into a mask of absolute terror. You're asking me like I know. I don't know what the hell's happening. He's calling you, but your focus is locked on the deep, bloody gouge you raked into his arms. Through his shirt. How the hell did you do that? You realize Oscar is talking, not just saying your name. It takes a concerted effort to focus on his words. Okay. Your mind feels fogged with a dark mist, separating you from the surrounding world. What the f happened? What was that? Are you okay? Am I okay? Tell him about what you saw. Apologize for scratching him. Stare at him. You can't make yourself say it. That's stupid. Let's do that one. His face contorts as you explain with stilted words what you saw. I didn't see it. I couldn't see it. Was it real? God, you hate how small and ruined your voice sounds. His gaze darkens. I don't know, but I think you're right. It's the house. You need to get out of here somehow. I don't think the house wants to let you go. I think you have to convince it somehow. What about Bartholomew? Camellia will never forgive me if I just... Jesus Christ. We'll bring the cat. That's really what you're thinking about right now? We'll bring the cat. What are we supposed to... How are we supposed to get out of here? He doesn't answer you, and he doesn't release you. He slides his hands from your cheeks to the side of your neck. His thumbs grazing over your bottom lip as he does, sending a shock of electricity straight to your stomach. His hands rest on the sides of your neck, his thumb resting over your pulse. Point for just a few moments. Then his hands are moving again, brushing over your shoulders and back down your arms, where you can feel the ghost of the grip he'd used to try to prevent you from hurting yourself. His hands travel down to your hands, and he holds both tightly, one in each hand. Look at me. You do. Your vision locking on the deep brown of his eyes. His gaze burns. Whoa. And as if they burned him, he drops your hands from his. Let's go. Okay. He leads you back downstairs. He's moving quickly, taking the stairs 2 at a time. You have to hurry to keep up with him. Oscar goes straight to your books again, picking up the play you've been reading, and skips ahead to Act 2, where your bookmark is holding your place. Wait, weren't you on Act 1? No, what? Dang, I don't even remember. Oscar opens the book past your bookmark, delving deep into Act 2. You get a sinking feeling and a strong sense of dread and foreboding that threatens to physically bring you to your knees. Here it is. Okay, I know what to do. Cool. His voice is suddenly drowned out. You roll around to the wall. Oh my god, my eye. Where the sheet is secured over the hole. Uh-oh. The core has returned. It's seeping through the space between stables, oozing through the sheet. It's as if it's following you. As if you'd lost it and now it has found you. You hear Oscar rummaging around behind you and the sound of scissors cutting. What is he doing? You turn to him, desperate to make him understand. You need to run. Something is coming. Something dangerous. You can feel it. You have flashes of some kind of dream nightmare vision of the arcing swing of an arm and a spray of blood. The overwhelming smell of rotting flesh. You make a run up the stairs, while Oscar catches you by the arm before you've gone more than a few steps. I just need to grab something. Wait! I see something from the closet. You're shaking your head frantically, your breath's coming in heaving gasps. Your voice sounds as painful as it feels, but you can't help the desperate plea inside. We need to go now. I can't bear to be in this room of red. Even though I like red, but no. You turn towards the stairs again, and this time Oscar places himself between you and the stairs. Nice. Fear and rage flare up within you, and you try to rush past him anyway. You're beyond waiting, beyond patience, beyond reason. You are prey, being run down by the predator, and Oscar was the idiot standing between the two of you. You need to run. He needs to run now. Can't you just trust me and wait 2 minutes? No, you don't understand. We have to go. If you run up there right now, the only thing that will happen is a reenactment of what we just saw, potentially with more eye gouging. Wait. You let out a snarl of rage. Just go. You go then. You can't stay here. You're gonna die. Your mind fills with images of Oscar cleaved by shadows, his mouth opening in a silent scream. It fills you with panic that crests into fury. You're so arrogant. You think you know everything, Mr. Man. And you're going to get us killed. You're gonna die. No, we're gonna die. Just go without me. Leave. Oscar sputters. It's strange to see him speechless. He rakes his fingers through his hair, looking around him with a cracked look in his eyes. I don't know what the hell's going on. I'm so confused. His eyes land on yours and his expression shifts from something wild to a fiery kind of determination. Oscar closes the gap between the two of you in a step that feels more like a lunge. He catches your face with one massive hand, his other pulling you in by the small of your back, and his mouth collides with yours. Wow. All of a sudden I'm okay with everything. In a desperate, frantic kind of kiss, you find yourself kissing him back with equal intensity. gripping a handful of his soft, brown curls and crushing him to you. Pressing yourself against him as if you could eliminate any and all space separating you. You're overwhelmed with pure need and heat. It's absolutely terrifying, but for a few moments your mind is so much clearer. You feel like you can inhale. Give it this red background with flowers and stars. You could smell the scent of his aftershave, faint traces of pine wood and smoke. And feel his teeth scraping against your bottom lip. It pulls you back from whatever void you've been spiraling into and hurls you back into your body. He breaks the kiss, his chest heaving as he tries to catch his breath. Immediately, your cheeks flush with embarrassment. Did you just kiss me to make me shut up, or was it to make me listen to you? That's manipulative as f***, you piece of shit. The hysterical sounding laugh, so very unlike him, that erupts from him cuts you off. If I wanted to manipulate you, that's the last thing I would do. I know you better than to resort to that. I know you well enough to know that I could never sway you, and certainly not in my favor. But that's it. You're it. That's just how it is. So no, I'm not leaving you. I can't leave you, so stop asking. He releases you abruptly, leaving you stunned and reeling from his admission, and returns to the sweatshirt he must have pulled from your closet. Your gaze is pulled towards the hole on the wall. As you watch, you can see movement behind the sheets. Out of nowhere, maggots burst through the sheet. It tears open and they spill in mass, pouring over each other in gray, wriggly clumps. Look over there, buddy. Woo! You can hear them hitting the floor. They're pretty heavy. Pouring from the hole in the floor, falling off the side of the bed. They clamber over each other, forming a shape against the wall. It's the outline of a tall, thin person, but you're what? You're entirely certain it isn't a person. Well, yeah. Suddenly, Oscar is jamming a sweatshirt over your head backwards. He yanks up the hood and you find that he's cut 2 eye holes poorly mapped and askew into the hood. He takes a long piece of ribbon and ties it around your forehead, securing the hood tightly to your face. He takes your face in his hands and then... Can you stop? It is hard to breathe through the hood with cloth pressed against your mouth, but you don't want him to let go. We're going upstairs. When we get up there, I'm going to tell you what to say. Anything. He has to yell over the sound of the maggots spilling endlessly from the wall. Say exactly what I say. Think it too. Scream it in your mind and nothing else. You understand? Yes. You nod once. This is the entire room shudders with the sound of something breaking away from the back of the wall. It doesn't wait to make sure you understand. You're both sprinting up the stairs. When you get upstairs, you freeze in the foyer. It stinks like rotting meat, like decay. A great streak darts into your field of vision, and before you can register what's happening, Oscar has left your side, bending down and then returning almost immediately. Bartholomew was tucked under his arm, looking stunned to have been seized in such a manner. The rumbling from downstairs is getting worse, making the entire foyer shudder. You both charge for the door, and you feel the terror rising up to consume you once more. You hear a voice cut through the air, reverberating off each wall, as if it came from everywhere at once. It didn't sound like a voice, or even human, despite you easily understanding the words. Unmask, little scorpion. Scorpion. There was no need for you to disguise. I know you. I know you. Oscar is wrestling with the cat, who tried to bolt when the voice began. Can they hear it too? Say you wear no mask. I wear no mask. Oscar yells as he gets parked firmly by the scruff, frantically struggling off his jacket. wrap around the thrashing creature. I wear no mask. I am not Dream. Ooh, creepy. The house shudders again, but as you lunge towards the door, the accord doesn't, disappear? Oh, it doesn't appear. You shout it again and again, and you both burst forward, sprinting into the deck into Oscar's car, where things are entirely peaceful, quiet, and calm. On the outside, there are no signs of what's going on within. Oscar swings open the door and throws a very angry Bartholomew into the car. He slams the door closed and then leans his back against the door, slumping against the vehicle. Slumping? Yes. Standing in front of him, you can feel the fog pull back from your mind. More and more of yourself returning. Your memories become clear once more. The recollection of your parents' and sister trip no longer hazy in your mind. Your arrival home after they left, the time you've spent here since arriving, all has returned to how you'd once known it to be. Oscar lifts his head and you Oscar lifts his head up. Shut up. And look at you and grins. He's trying to hide his relief behind a smirk. He unties the ribbon and lowers your pseudo mask. The fresh air is heaven in your lungs. So I bet you like to hear how I figured that out. Yeah. You know what? No. He's so damn smug. Here to bask in my brilliance. Grovel in thanks for my heroics. No, I would not. You grin at him and he gathers you up in his arms, pulling you tightly to him, voice dropping to a growling purr. Let me see what we can do to change that, shall we? Uh-oh. Why is this still glitchy? Something's not right. His mouth crashes against yours. You're safe now. He murmurs, burying his face into your neck, holding you to him. Is that what you really wanted, little scorpion? Did you find what you seek? Somehow I suspect not. Are you joking? Go to the gallery right now. Nope. Yes. What do you mean? I have extras though. I don't even know if I earned this or if they just gave it to me for free. 4 out of 6 unlocked? It says there's 5 endings and there's 3 niggas, so there's 2 other endings that I could possibly get that don't involve the good endings to Aster and Theo, but we're gonna end it there because this technically counts as Oscar's route, so that's what it's gonna be. Okay. That was Titanium Oscar's route. If you guys enjoyed, a like would be very much appreciated. And of course, subscribe for more Titanium in the near future. With all of that being said, I will see you guys next time. Goodbye, my loves.